Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about digital hygiene. Similar to us brushing our teeth, combing our hair, right? We take care of ourselves. Every now and again, we need to do some digital hygiene to take care of our devices. Hi, I'm Kate Huffnagel, the Digital Wrangler. After spending 25 years in high-tech fields like software development and artificial intelligence, I decided to put all my technical prowess to use so that everyone can benefit. Today, we're going to be talking about a couple of settings on your phone that you might not be aware about, simply because they're hidden. And quite frankly, these are settings that not many people are talking about. But at the end of the day, these settings, when configured in such a way, they can actually help ensure that you are extending the battery life of your phone and extending the time between charging. So, you ready to get started? If you don't already have your phone with you, now would be a great time to get it. And as we go along, I'm going to split my screen so that you can follow along and easily find these settings as well. So today, I'm going to show you two settings that are notorious for sucking the life out of your phone's battery. The first setting is called background app refresh. Anyone familiar with this setting? I know, it's one of those oddball settings that flies under the radar. And don't worry, I'm going to show you where to find it. First, let me tell you a little bit about background app refresh. This setting has the potential to give every single app you have installed on your phone permission to update whenever it feels like it, even if you're not using it, even as you're driving around town. And yep, that has the potential to eat up your cellular data too if you're not careful. Now that you know what background app refresh is, let me show you where to find it. So you're going to want to open up your phone and go into settings. From there, you're going to want to touch general. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see background app refresh. Once you touch background app refresh, you're in essence going to be presented with a list of apps that you have installed on your phone. So what you see on my screen pretty much is going to be different than your screen, because we have different apps installed. Now that we have found background app refresh, let's take a look at the top setting. Touch it to view the options. First, I have background app refresh on for Wi-Fi connections only. And this is what I recommend for most people. I don't want to use my cellular data plan to update my apps. If I'm out at dinner or taking a Sunday drive, my apps can update after I get home and after I've connected to my secure Wi-Fi. Right? They don't need to be updated every single second. And if one of my apps isn't updated the second that update is released, it's not going to be the end of the world. I promise, seriously, it's not. So now that you better understand the refresh setting, select what setting you want. Do you want your apps to update when connected to Wi-Fi? Or do you want to use Wi-Fi and potentially cellular data to update your apps? Once you select your default setting, I encourage you to take a close look at the apps installed on your phone and ask yourself, does it make sense for each of these apps to refresh automatically? The apps I recommend, assuming you're only utilizing Wi-Fi as an option, are any banking apps you may have installed. I want your financial assets to be secured and protected utilizing the most up-to-date app that the financial institution offers. That's why I suggest having those apps update as often as possible. If you have an app that you want to have updated as quickly as possible, I would love for you to post it in the comments below. Now that we've taken care of background app refresh, the other setting that is notorious for sucking battery life is location services. Location services is also known for sharing your location to all the apps you have installed, not to mention the owners of those apps. And you know they are using that information to find a way to make themselves more money. Let me ask you this. Does YouTube, your favorite news app, your go-to game app, do those apps need to know your location 24/7? No, they don't. So let's take a look at location services. To find location services, you're going to want to open up your settings, go into privacy, and then search for location services. And at the top, there is a toggle to turn location services on or off. I personally have location services turned on because I routinely use my phone for GPS and directions. Anybody else use Google Maps like all the time? How did we exist without it? So if you're like me and you utilize a GPS app like Google Maps, right, you're going to want to have location services turned on. Now that you have location services turned on, let's take a closer look at all of the apps installed on your phone. To make any changes, you will need to click on each app. Kind of a pain, I know, but for the most part, this is a one and done setting, meaning you update the setting and then you can forget about it. So when you click on an app, you'll likely be presented with 3 different options. Occasionally you'll have 4, but the options are going to likely be never, ask, while using the app, and always. For most of your apps, my recommendation is to have this setting on never. Again, does your favorite news or gaming app have to know your location? No. Obviously, any GPS related apps that you're using, you're going to want to designate always, because what good is that app going to be if it doesn't know your location? A couple of other apps that I have location services set to on are like Instagram, because I might tag the location that I'm in, but really for the most part, I have location services turned off. There are some people who like to have all of their photos geotagged with location data. This information is embedded into the metadata for each photo. This is entirely a personal preference, so there is no need to follow me and select never for your camera app unless you feel that that serves you best. As you can see, there are some apps that I have set to utilize location services when I am using the app. These apps are reliant on knowing my location in order for them to work correctly. So I'm talking about those apps like Compass, an app for tracking my skiing, an app for discovering new hiking trails. Obviously, any GPS related app needs to be able to know your location. And because I love to post photos of yummy food, I have given Instagram permission to utilize location services, which makes it easier for me to tag restaurants. And lastly, I have one app that is always using location services. It's an app from my insurance company to track the quality of my driving. And the app won't work unless I set location settings to always. I know, it's kind of a bummer, but it's saving me on my car insurance, so there's that. I hope today's video was helpful and that you learned a couple of tips and tricks on how to extend the battery life of your iPhone. Feel free to share this video with friends and family if you think they would benefit from learning about these settings as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.